Have you ever wondered what existed before the universe? Before the stars, before the planets, before the earth, before even the space that we see around us? According to the Tantric traditions of India, there was not just simply emptiness, there was the Divine Mother. And when that infinite Shakti manifested as a space in which the entire universe could exist, she was known as Bhuvaneshwari, the Queen of the Universe. But there is a much deeper and more fascinating story behind her. And once you understand it, you may never look at the space around you in the same way again. Welcome to the episode of Ancient Indian Wisdom. Today we enter the world of the fourth Mahavidya, goddesses Bhuvaneshwari. Now, who is Bhuvaneshwari? Let's begin with her name. Bhuvana means the worlds, the realms, or the universe. Ishwari means the female ruler, sovereign, or supreme goddesses. So Bhuvaneshwari literally carries the meaning of the goddess who rules the worlds, the queen of the universe. But in the tantric understanding, she is not simply a goddess who rules over something that already exists. She is connected with the very space in which creation exists. Now think about that. Everything you can see requires space. The earth needs space, the planets need space, the body needs space, your thoughts need space. And according to this spiritual vision, that infinite field of existence is itself a manifestation of Shakti. And that Shakti is Bhuvaneshwari. So, in Shakta and Tantric traditions, Bhuvaneshwari is described as a great cosmic mother who encompasses the world. Before the diversity of creation appears, there is the vastness of consciousness. And from the consciousness comes the power to manifest. The mother becomes the field. She becomes the space. She becomes the universe itself. This is why her form is not usually understood as a goddess belonging to one particular object or a particular element. She is much larger. She is the mother of the entire bhuvana, the entire field of existence. And this is where her story becomes truly fascinating. Now, in traditional accounts associated with Bhuvaneshwari, the goddess is connected with the manifestation and ordering of the worlds. She is described as the supreme Shakti through whom the universe becomes capable of existing. The gods themselves are not independent of this cosmic power. They operate within the universe. But Bhuvaneshwari represents the greater field within which even the god exists. This gives her an extraordinary position among the Mahavidyas. She's not simply inside creation. She is the cosmic space that contains creation, and that is why she's called the queen of the universe. Now, let's go deeper. One of the most important ideas associated with her is Akasha. You may have heard this word before, but Akasha is often translated as a space or ether. In an Indian philosophic traditions, it is a subtle element associated with space and sound. Think about sound. A sound cannot travel without a medium, and in the traditional understanding, Akasha provides the field in which sound exists. Now, this is particularly significant in Tantra because sound is not considered ordinary. Mantra is sacred vibration, and the universe itself is understood through vibration, sound, and consciousness. And therefore, the goddess who represents a cosmic field of existence becomes deeply connected with the power of sound. Now, Chidakasha, the inner space, and now this comes one of my favorite concepts because Chidakasha, in which Chid means consciousness, Akasha means space. So Chidakasha can be understood as a space of consciousness. Close your eyes for a moment. You may see darkness. But then a thought appears, a memory appears, a picture appears, an emotion appears, perhaps an image appears. Where did it appear? Inside your awareness. And then it disappears, but the space in which it appeared remains. Now, this is one way to understand the deeper symbolism of Bhuvaneshwari. She represents the vastness that allows everything to appear and disappear. Thoughts come, thoughts go. Emotions come, emotions go. And experiences come, experiences go. But the space of awareness remains. So, now look at the traditional image of Bhuvaneshwari. She's often depicted as radiant, beautiful, and majestic. She is sealed upon a lotus. Her beauty is not simply physical beauty. It represents the beauty and harmony of creation itself. She's commonly shown with 4 arms. In 2 hands, she carries the noose and the goad, and her other hands offer gestures of blessings and protection. So let's understand these symbols. Now, the noose. The noose can represent attachment, what keeps pulling us back, desire, fear, possession, or relationships, ego, the constant need to control everything. But there is another beautiful interpretation of this. The noose can also represent the Divine Mother drawing the seeker closer to herself. Now, what initially appears to bind us can become the very thing that leads us towards awareness. Now, the goad. The goad represents direction. Sometimes we know exactly what we need to do, but we don't do it. We become comfortable. We become afraid. We keep postponing things. The goad represents that force that pushes us forward. It reminds us, move, grow, awaken. So, do not remain trapped in the same place. And next one is Abhaya and Varada. Now, her other hands offer 2 beautiful gestures. Abhaya, fearlessness, and Varda is the blessings and generosity. Now, think about this message. The mother says, do not be afraid. Don't be scared. And then receive my grace. Or this is why Bhuvaneshwari isn't simply portrayed as a distant cosmic ruler. She's also the compassionate mother. So now this queen of the universe, now let's understand why she's so powerful. A queen doesn't have to personally control every movement inside her kingdom. Her sovereignty comes from encompassing the entire kingdom. Bhuvaneshwari represents that cosmic sovereignty. The planets move, the star moves, life appears, life disappears, creation changes. But everything exists within the vast field of the Divine Mother. Nothing is outside her. This is why her symbolism is so expensive. And Bhuvaneshwari and her abundance, how are they connected? Now, there is another fascinating aspect of her worship. Traditional sources associate Bhuvaneshwari with blessings such as prosperity, worldly well-being, knowledge, frugality, and abundance. But here's where I think the deeper teaching becomes much more meaningful. Abundance requires space. Think about your own life. If your hands are already completely full, how can you receive anything new? If your mind is constantly occupied, where will a new idea come from? And if your home is filled with things you no longer need, where will someone new go? So if your heart is completely occupied by fear, where will peace enter? Bhuvaneshwari teaches us the spiritual importance of creating space. Now let's look at the modern lesson. Now, this ancient teaching is surprisingly relevant today. We wake up and immediately look at our phones, notifications, emails, social media, Instagram reels, news, or work, or group, community, chats, family responsibilities. We move from one thing to another without giving ourselves a moment of silence. Then we say, I don't know why I feel so overwhelmed. Perhaps the answer is simple. There is no space. Bhuvaneshwari reminds us that emptiness is not always a problem. Sometimes emptiness is what allows something beautiful to emerge. So, the deeper tantric teaching of Bhuvaneshwari, how does it resemble? Now, the Mahavidyas are not simply 10 goddesses that we worship separately. Tantric philosophy looks at them as different expressions of the one divine reality. Tripura Sundari reveals beauty, harmony, and consciousness, and Bhuvaneshwari expands that consciousness into the entire world. So she asks us, can you become spacious enough to experience the divine? Not only in a temple, not only during prayer, but in your own consciousness as well. So, a simple practice. Tonight, try something very simple. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Don't chant. Don't ask for anything. No wishes, nothing. Don't try to stop your thoughts. Just observe. And a thought appears. Let it appear. And a thought may disappear. Let it disappear. And an emotion will appear. Observe it. And then let it pass. Now, instead of concentrating on the thought, notice the space in which the thought exists. That space is a doorway to understanding the deeper symbolism of Bhuvaneshwari. So, perhaps the greatest lesson of this Mahavidya is something we often forget. We are always trying to add something to our lives, like more money, more success, more growth, more possessions, more luxury, more achievements. But sometimes the next step inside is not adding up, and it's removing. So, removing the noise, or removing what no longer serves us, removing the unnecessary, or creating space. Because when there is a space, that's the time you can learn something new. Something new can be born. So, the ancient Indian traditions give us many forms of the Divine Mother. Some teaches us through fear, some through transformation, and some through beauty. And Bhuvaneshwari teaches us through infinity. She reminds us that the universe is not merely something we live inside. The entire field of existence can itself be understood as an expression of Divine Shakti. And perhaps her message to us is beautifully simple. Create space, space for peace, space for wisdom, space for love, space for silence, space for learning, and most importantly, space for the divine power. So, if you are enjoying this journey through the 10 Mahavidyas, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with someone who loves India's ancient spiritual wisdom. We will have many more forms of the Divine Mother to discover, and every Mahavidya reveals a completely different dimension of Shakti. Next episode, we will meet a much more intense and fierce form of Divine Mother, Goddesses Tripura Bhairavi. We will explore her connection with tapas, discipline, spiritual transformation. So I'll see you in the episode 6. Until then, stay curious, stay blessed, and keep exploring the wisdom of ancient India.